If you're a computer science major or a recent grad, you're probably feeling like this was the worst time ever to pursue that degree. You did everything right according to society. The media, the internet gurus, and even your own family kept telling you that if you just learn to code and enroll in STEM, that big tech companies would be fighting to get you into a six-figure role. However, what actually ended up happening is that now that you graduated or are close to it, finding a job feels next to impossible. You might have heard about Manashi Mishra. She graduated from Purdue with a computer science degree. After a year of searching, the only interview she got was at Chipotle, and it wasn't even for a tech position, but for making burritos. Or Zach Taylor from Oregon State. He applied to get this 5,762 different tech jobs just to get only 13 interviews and zero offers. If these stories sound familiar, you're not alone, and it's not your fault. Today, I'm going to explain why the traditional computer science route is failing so many young people. More importantly, I'll talk about a different career path that you may not have considered, but that your degree aligns with perfectly. One with strong demand, competitive salaries, and real growth potential. Let's talk about cloud computing. Here's what's happening. According to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, recent computer science graduates face a 6.1% unemployment rate. Similar majors such as computer engineering are facing a more staggering number at 7.5%. Compare that to the jobless rates in other fields such as art history and philosophy, both of which sit around 3%. Even journalism grads are doing better at 4.4%, which is pretty wild when you think about it. So, what's the deal here? How can people who study what everyone considered a guaranteed path to success end up in such a dire situation? In my opinion, there are two main factors that contributed to this: oversupply and artificial intelligence. First, let's deal with oversupply. Computer science enrollment more than doubled in the last decade, from about 52,000 graduates in 2014 to over 170,000 today. Fresh grads flooded the market just as demand collapsed. Over 100,000 tech workers lost their jobs this year. This is on top of the over 150,000 layoffs in 2024. Companies like Amazon, Meta, and Microsoft used to hire thousands of grads annually. Now they're cutting positions. Adding fuel to the fire is the aggressive adoption of AI technology. Tasks traditionally performed by college kids in junior roles are now being done by AI tools in a fraction of the time and cost. Even if companies do decide to hire a human, they are using AI to screen candidates. It's created what graduates call an AI doom loop. You apply and send off what looks like the perfect resume, only to receive a rejection email within minutes, sometimes before a human even sees your resume. Even graduates from top schools like MIT and Stanford have started feeling the pinch. Employment rates at these schools have declined by approximately 10% since 2020. So now that we've gone over the struggles the computer science field is facing, you may be wondering if this means that you'll never be able to have a successful career in the tech industry. The answer is that you still have plenty of options that your education is perfectly suited for. One of those that I'll be going over is cloud computing. In this field, you are mainly responsible for designing, building, or maintaining services that run on physical hardware located in remote data centers. The advantage of this kind of work is that you are providing something that is essential to the economy. Without the cloud, companies would have a far more difficult time implementing AI solutions that have impacted the livelihoods of so many today. Billion-dollar SaaS platforms would vanish overnight. Financial markets would come to a standstill. This is because these industries use cloud-based tools in one form or another to perform critical business functions. Tools that still require human expertise to build, manage, and secure. While software development job postings on popular sites like Indeed fell 71% in the last 3 years, the enterprise cloud market is projected to increase by 20% a year, surpassing $2.3 trillion by 2030. Whoever told you that the tech industry is dead is lying. The reality is that in every healthy economy, some sectors are doing well while others are struggling. But the verdict is out, and cloud computing is growing at an unprecedented pace. Here's another major advantage to consider if you're still undecided on making the jump from computer science to cloud computing. You get to skip what I call the junior's dilemma. This is a situation too many of you are familiar with. You go from being a rock star student to someone who ends up taking on a demanding junior dev job at a crappy startup for slave wages, or worse, equity. Not to mention that you're now competing with an AI tool that your CEO claims will replace you. However, for cloud professionals starting out, their entry-level experiences are far better. Landing the first gig at $100,000 per year is not uncommon. They're also more likely to enjoy a remote-friendly workplace due to the nature of the role and the ever-growing presence of remote-friendly employers in this space. In addition, the AI threat is literally years away from becoming a real concern. While cloud engineers and architects alike use AI as a tool to increase productivity, AI can't make strategic decisions about security architecture, survive random regulatory audits, nor can it negotiate contract renewals with cloud vendors or lead high-stake discussions with executives. When you embark on a career in the cloud industry, AI becomes your companion, not your competitor. Despite this seemingly hopeless sentiment the media likes to paint towards your education, I'm here to tell you that your computer science degree isn't a waste. It puts you in front of the line for some of the most lucrative and rewarding opportunities in the ever-growing cloud job market. All those algorithms, data structures, and systems fundamentals you learn, that's the perfect foundation for cloud computing. You already speak the language. Let's take a moment to go over how you can go from career uncertainty as a computer science major to career stability as a new cloud professional. Sign up for a free account with a popular cloud provider such as AWS, Azure, or Google Cloud Platform. AWS has the largest market share, so I recommend starting there. Try to attain at least one non-beginner cloud certification, like the AWS Solutions Architect Associate or the Azure Administrator Associate. The exams themselves cost around $150 each and can be achieved with as little as 4 weeks of study. The reason that I don't recommend going for the entry-level certs, like the AWS Cloud Practitioner, is that the material will be too surface level to provide any real impact when it's time to apply for actual job roles. Take advantage of the free tiers and student accounts to get valuable hands-on experience with dozens of cloud services. Deploy a website, set up a virtual network, create a serverless function, build a CI/CD pipeline. Feel free to document your learning journey on GitHub, your blog site, or even here on YouTube. Getting a head start on establishing a proven track record of professional work will put you ahead of most other job seekers when it's time to land that first cloud gig. As you go about building your arsenal of knowledge, ensure that you are also honing in on essential skill sets like Linux, infrastructure as code, containers, networking, and security. You likely have some exposure to these concepts already as part of your computer science curriculum, so you'll already have an advantage by the time you start your job search. Don't feel like you need to limit yourself to just entry-level roles to break in the cloud. By following the previously mentioned steps consistently, you'll be able to position yourself as a candidate with a strong computer science foundation and hands-on experience with various cloud technologies. Look for roles like Cloud Support Engineer, DevOps Engineer, Site Reliability Engineer, or Cloud Security Analyst. Let's address some concerns you might have as you're watching this video. The first thing you might be asking is, does this mean that my computer science degree is useless? Absolutely not. Your education is your secret weapon. You spent the last several years tackling algorithms, systems design, databases, and networking, just to name a few. Concepts that people transitioning into cloud without your background have to learn from scratch. You're not falling behind, you're ahead of the curve. Another question you might have is, won't the cloud just become saturated like other areas of tech? Theoretically, that might happen, but what makes cloud computing different is that at its core is infrastructure. It's the foundation everything else runs on. As long as companies need to store data, run applications, and scale operations, there will always be a need for cloud professionals. Plus, cloud computing constantly evolves. Hybrid cloud, cloud security, IoT, edge computing. New specializations will always keep emerging, which translates into constant opportunities to remain relevant. The traditional computer science job market is challenging right now. Record high unemployment, mass layoffs, and AI hitting entry-level positions hard. But by considering a career in the cloud computing industry, you can find yourself on a path where continuous demand, despite a slowing economy, and real career growth are possible. If you found this information valuable, make sure you take a moment to subscribe to our free newsletter where you'll get exclusive access to our latest content to help you on your cloud career journey. Just click on the link in the description to sign up. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.